Hi guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the Three Hammers podcast. Joined once again by Luke and Lee. Bit of a special episode this week because it is obviously the season's finished, so this is going to be our season review. Just sort of recapping the season, what we thought of it, good points, bad points, what we think is going to happen in the summer, and what we want to see next year. So yeah, let's get into it.
Well, let's start with, it's a lot different from the video we made 12 months ago. With disappointing that we didn't hit top four. That's how different it is this year.
Yeah.
I think it's only fair to start even before the season started. We've touched on it. It's probably every West Ham fan video out there this season is it all starts from the summer and the broken promises and talking too much about and aiming too high for transfers we never had a chance of getting.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, in retrospect, it wasn't a great transfer window. Although it is worth mentioning at the time, a lot of people were reasonably happy, apart from we did decent enough business, what seemed to be decent enough business, but I still don't think we ever addressed the two positions that needed addressing the most, and that was right back and striker.
Yeah, we went in with Ashley Fletcher and Zaza. And it just didn't work out for Zaza, really, did it? And I think, again, that 14-game loan thing killed him because at Valencia he's been doing good things.
Yeah, no, he has. It wasn't great. Obviously, finishing the season on such a high, so much expectation coming into the new stadium. Obviously, the board saying Arsenal's looking over their shoulder. Yeah, I bet.
Well, we both ain't in the Champions League next year. So.
There was so much expectation, and it was coming off the back of such a big emotional season. And maybe that is a big part of why this season wasn't so great. Maybe that did take its toll. I don't know.
Yeah. Obviously, it all started, Lee. Me and you went the Domzales game. Amazing night. Obviously, the first ever time playing at London Stadium, and it was that first time you walked into that arena. It was a good start. It looked promising for Gooley, getting a good goal. Kiati scoring the first goal there. It looked like that we might do all right here.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to judge, isn't it, against a team from Slovenia, but yeah, it was decent. Going back to the signings, like. People like Tor, he just never had a chance, did he, really? He got written off by most fans after he played 6 games, did I read earlier? 5 games in all competitions. In the one Premier League game he played, he assisted the goal, the only goal against Bournemouth.
The Bournemouth game.
Got a bad injury, was completely, what's the word I'm looking for? Pushed out the club almost. The injury obviously did it, but he just wasn't given a chance. And it's hard. I know he had a spell at Chelsea, but never really played in the Premier League before. And I think there was too much expectation for players to hit the ground running, and it's the numbers that do that are very, very low. It's quite rare for a player to come from abroad and hit the ground running in the Premier League. And like I say, Zaza only having 14 games, you're pretty much wiping him off before he started. But he had a great chance in his debut, didn't he? Same as Cagliari had a great chance on his debut, and they both missed. And from then on, he never really pushed on.
Yeah, on the in terms of even before the Bournemouth game, Lee, I'm thinking the Chelsea match, the first game of the season. Again, it was Antonio right back, wasn't it?
And he went off just after he conceded the penalty.
Yeah, and that apparently caused a lot of friction in the changing room. Apparently some senior players going in. Again, it's all rumours. I don't know whether it actually did happen, but Antonio basically saying that I'm not going to play there anymore. Did that undermine Slav? We know that Antonio shouldn't have played there, and it was sort of said by Dave when he come on the show that Slav is going to play him at right back next year. What do you make of all that? How much impact has that had?
You look at someone like James Milner at Liverpool, who's played at left back all season, and has just got on with it.
And had a really good season as well.
But he's good enough. He's good enough, no?
No, but he's never
it was
played
clear
there
that
before.
he could do a job there. Antonio couldn't do a job there.
No, but again, he was. I know he played. Like if you look back to last season, he played there for the last say like 12 games, didn't he? We lost about 2, I think, in that spell. So on that basis, and I know he wasn't. Everyone wanted Byron to play. We all said it on the show. I think it would have been good to see Byron, but you don't really change winning sides, do you? Really, but. I just look at the Milner example. I love Antonio, don't get me wrong, but look at Milner, who's just got on with it. Playing at left back, it's not his position. He went to Liverpool to be a central midfielder. He was quite open about that.
Has Liverpool's left-hand side been their weakness this year? Where West Ham's, that right-hand side was a weakness.
It's been a weakness when we've had right-backs playing. Sorry, Paul.
No, I agree. No, I totally agree.
I was going to say, I agree with Lee. I mean, was it a case of he can't do the job, or was it a case of he didn't want to do the job?
Maybe, but I think he had a justified point to say that he's the top goal scorer.
Oh yeah,
West Ham this year.
Absolutely, without a doubt. Absolutely, without a doubt. No, I completely agree. He shouldn't have been playing there. It was a bad decision to play him there. And then as well, I suppose on the other side of it, yes, you've got the likes of Milner, who done a fantastic job for Liverpool left back this season. But then was Antonio right to speak out? Was Antonio right to say, listen, this is wrong, you're misusing me?
Certainly rocked the ship, possibly. It maybe undermined Slav for a little while at the club. Then obviously Arbeloa didn't work out for him. Obviously, rumours coming out today that it was because of a bad tackle on a youth player. And again, rumours, but apparently Arbeloa had a row with Slav and it ended up with Arbeloa saying something like, come back to me when you've won the Champions League. And then obviously... his West Ham career was over before it had even started.
Well, if he says that like that, he struck me as a bit of a bad egg, so...
Yeah.
Well, you say that, but apparently throughout his career he hasn't. He's been the complete opposite. Apparently he was a model
character, does he?
Yeah, apparently he was a model professional, hard working in training. But obviously it didn't work out. He's gone now, so there you go. It's another footnote on West Ham. It's another player that came and didn't quite work out.
And obviously, as we went through, guys, we went through that terrible period. I'm just looking at the results here, just to refresh my memory. Leaking in goals for fun in September, just looking 4-2 Watford, 4-2 West Brom, 3-0 Southampton with a 1-0 win against Accrington Stanley in now. I mean, the Watford game was a massive game, I think, in a turning point of our season, really, like that early.
It was a massive game for loads of reasons, because the first half, the first 40 minutes, we played some of the best football I've seen West Ham ever play. It was superb. And to the extent that they were showing off at one point, obviously, with the Rubanas and what have you. But, and it all went a bit tits up, didn't it, frankly? Bad mistake. Either Adrian or Collins, I can't remember who exactly was to blame. But
Collins.
A bit of both, wasn't it? Yeah, it just sort of summed up our season, really, didn't it? I guess that day. And that was, of course, the day where there was the main amount of trouble in the stands as well.
Yes, yeah.
Again, that seemed to me like a bit of a turning point as well after that game, in terms of the stadium as well.
Yeah, we've got to mention that. Yeah, obviously, trouble in the stands early on. Do you feel that may have had an effect on the players? Do you feel that the players really take notice of what is going on the ground?
I think there was a lot of... I don't know. Like, I always wonder about when you see grounds empty 5 minutes before the end, how much of that the players sort of...
I agree with that, Lee.
I've never heard a commentator, a footballer say anything about it, so perhaps it doesn't. They're getting paid, aren't they, frankly?
There was, interestingly, not that long ago, and I seem to mention them every single week, but reading a thread on these at Mother Brown last week, and they were talking about a guy on there happened to meet Vaz Tay and had a good long chat with him. And apparently Vaz Tay was saying that West Ham fans, and in particular at the Boleyn, he said it was the crowd does definitely have an effect on the players. And he said it was a very, very difficult place, not only for opposition players to come and play, but for the home team. He said it was a difficult place for West Ham to play at, because as soon as you did something wrong, the fans are on your back.
Well, our fans are very fickle. Like we're sitting here as West Ham fans. I'm guilty of it. We're all guilty of it. We jump on players' backs. Dare I say the name? Obviously, I'm looking because I know he scored an absolute worldie in this game. West Ham Middlesbrough. Obviously, sort of Dimitri Payet sort of goodbye wonder goal, really, wasn't it? When he took on the whole team. let's talk about him. Probably the last time we will talk about him on this channel, hopefully. But we dealt with a sulking Dimitri Payet. I know Lee came back from Old Trafford, absolutely berated him. What impact has that had this season? Him as a bad egg, guys.
I think a bit of it. I think we saw how many games he won for us last year, pretty much single-handedly. And then you mentioned the Man United Cup game. For those who can't remember, it was when, I can't remember if it was 2-1 or 3-1. Basically, he lost the ball and then just stood there and let the play go on. And for me, from then, I never sang his name again. He was finished as far as I was concerned. Disgraceful. I'm glad he's gone, but hinged with sadness that we, at a point there, we had one of Europe's best players.
Yeah, we had a world-class player.
Yeah, it's interesting as well. I think it's worth pointing out as well. I know, obviously, he's gone back to France, but how many people are now talking about Dimitri Payet?
I was just thinking that.
Mate, apparently the fact you read again, I read little snippets, and Marseille are not really rating him. And he's called, I believe his nickname is called the Pudding, the Pudding, because he's fat.
Yeah, carrying a bit of weight. You started to see that, but no, it's did he shoot himself in the foot? He was, like you say, one of the most talked about players in the world. At West Ham, he was regarded as one of the best players in Europe. Who's talking about him now?
Yeah.
Us.
Yeah. But do you feel we've got to look at the board again here because they've got so much blame to take for this season? Do you feel he may have been given some promises when he signed that contract, and there was a lot of broken promises, and he just thought, oh well?
The thing with me is, no way he was injured at the start of the season. No way.
No, I think they just give him extended rest, to be honest with you, because he did go all the way to the final.
He did, but he came back. Came on in that Chelsea game, first game of the season, and disappeared.
And you're like, I know you say, he went all the way to the final, but the likes of Kante didn't have any problems turning up and playing for Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? So I don't buy that as an excuse. I think.
Well, look at Pogba. Sorry, Paul. Look at Pogba, who had to move as well.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think it was a case of he wanted to go. I think he had his head turned during that tournament. I think he wanted to go, and the club were basically just bending over backwards, trying to keep him happy, saying, listen, have a couple of weeks off, have some more time off, just get your head straight and come back to us when you're ready. And he took advantage of that, basically. Come back, wasn't interested, didn't really care. And unfortunately, like you say, the writing was on the wall that he had to go.
Don't want to dwell in it for too long. But this is a player who the fans adored. We all did.
Closest thing to Paolo.
This is a player that the West Ham social media campaign was all about Payet. Everything about West Ham United was Payet in the 18 months that he was with us. And just it's disgusting the way he treated us, frankly. Because he was adored by every single person at the club. Bilic loved him. And he was a broken man, wasn't he? Let's think back to that press conference where he finally came out.
A lot of credit to Slav though for that press conference. He did what he had to do in that press conference. No.
Yeah, no, he 100% the right thing. 100%.
For you though, guys. Last thing on Dimmy. How will he be remembered in 10 years' time?
He won't.
Well, I don't think that's fair to say, because regardless of the situation how he left us, he's still one of the best players to ever pull on a West Ham shirt. And I think he'll always be remembered for that. But it'll be remembered with that.
Tarnished.
Yeah, it'll be tarnished. That's it. That's exactly the word, yeah.
This bit I was reading, it's quite similar actually. I was reading an article about Sam Allardyce today on the BBC website. It's interesting. Basically, he seems like he's retired now. And they said that he did all that in his career, never relegated, very innovative, bringing out all these new things into football, but he'll be remembered for the 56 days he was England manager and how he screwed it all up.
That's very true. That's very true. Moving into November, Lee, you was there, one of the painful games of the year. Tottenham away.
No, skip.
Obviously, all West Ham fans were waiting with bated breath on social media. 90th minute, I believe it was. We were 2-1 up, and then 2-2, 3-2. Oh my God, what a painful game that was, Lee. You was there.
It was sickening. To be not really wound me up the most. The ground was half empty. Their fans had given up. The ground was half empty, and of course, apparently, this fixture means nothing to Tottenham Hotspur fans. But all of a sudden, they're 3-2 up, and it's like they won the league. Didn't know, did you, lads? You know.
December again. 5-1 loss to Arsenal. This was obviously when Randolph started to be put in goal again as well, because obviously we called for it on the channel. Obviously, Adrian. Again, all these things, guys. How much impact has that had on the season to not have a goalkeeper that has been what you believe in, what the defence believes in?
You kind of, if the two players are merged together, like Randolph just hasn't got a voice. You can see that the players got no confidence with him behind. He's a great shot stopper. They both are. They're both fantastic shot stoppers. Adrian's got amazing reflexes. He pulls off some absolute blinding saves when frankly he shouldn't. I'm thinking of the couple against Harry Kane at our place a few weeks ago. Like amazing saves. But separately, they're just lacking something.
I agree, yeah.
Well, yeah, Adrian, obviously, he's always got that moment of madness in him. You know, he is some crazy Spanish goalkeeper. He has got that in him. But, yeah, like you say, I mean, Randolph just has no presence whatsoever. He's got absolutely no presence. He doesn't know what to do when a cross comes in. He seems to have no strength in him. I don't know, he's got no presence. And like you say, at the time, we were all calling for Adrian to be dropped and for Randolph to be given a go. Obviously, he was doing really well playing for us in the Cup. And he deserved his chance. He did deserve his chance. But it went on, the experiment, just like the experiment with Antonio at right back. It just went on too long. Mm. And then that is a case of where you say, yeah, that did affect our season, but that was a problem that could have been very easily solved.
I agree, yeah.
Do you think Bilic is too loyal? I think he is, personally.
I think he's too stubborn. I think stubborn more than loyal.
Yeah. Because I think he sort of made that comment, didn't he, a little bit later in the season about Randolph, oh, he's my number one, I don't change it now. And then Adrian was in goal the next game. Mm. Like, I don't think he knew what his first 11 was this whole season. I really don't. I think it's been a whole experiment the whole year, and it only sort of started to get into place the last few games when he's had that settled three at the back.
But that goes back to buying too many players in the summer.
No, that's right. Yeah, they bought a team for the Europa League.
Europa League killed us because you couldn't give everyone game time. And let's hope they've learned a lesson, and it'll be quality over quantity this year.
Let's touch on that. Astra Gugu, Lee, 2 years in a row they knocked us out, and again I've touched on it a few times. It just proves we are not ready for Europa League.
That was a pathetic night. That one. Just never looked like getting back into it. Really, it was just pathetic. Waste of time, waste of energy, waste of money,
and the build up as well to that game. Like most people were so certain that we were going to win that game. You know, it was like, oh yeah, we'll win this and we'll be, you know, into the group stages, into the Europa League proper. It just didn't turn up. Just did not turn up.
Didn't turn up in any cups really this year. I'm looking at one result, obviously, the Chelsea game. Fantastic night. Fernandes getting a goal. But apart from that, we just haven't had anything to look forward to this year. Obviously, December, I would say this is December and sort of early February are periods where I think we saved ourselves, basically. Like, I'm looking 1-0 win at Burnley, 1-0 win at Hull City, then we beat Swansea 4-1.
Those games were massive.
Massive games, yeah. Did you at any point, sort of during those periods, I know I did, have fears that we could get relegated?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I don't know. Hindsight again, innit? But looking at it, we weren't as bad as the three that have gone down. Nowhere near.
Yeah, but is that the only thing that saved us, really?
I think so. I think sometimes panic sets in, and you start to fear the worst, which is the right thing to do. But actually, looking at it in the cold light of day, I don't think we were as bad as the 3/Swansea.
Oh no.
That.
Yeah, going ahead in January, obviously it was the game after Dimi left. Crystal Palace, what a game that was. Goal of the season, possibly goal of the season of the Premier League, not just West Ham's goal of the season in Andy Carroll. That was a big game for Slav, and it showed the players were still behind him, and it showed the fans were still behind him. I remember me and you saying, I think the vlog, it does exist. We said, Lee, if they didn't turn up at that game and play, we knew that it was Bilic and not Payet.
Mm. Yeah, players certainly played for him that day. Second half, innit? We were rubbish first half.
Mm-hmm.
And then he changed formation at half time, put Antonio up front, and obviously he made 3 assists in the second half, and we won it 3-0. And the rest is history. Great goal, Andy Carroll. One of the best goals I've ever seen live.
Yeah, definitely. Up there with Trevor Sinclair, that was. Yeah, through February, like I say, we beat Southampton 3-1 away. A massive win, that was.
That was my best away game, by the way, this season, that one.
Yeah.
Good performance. Obiang. We haven't mentioned Obiang, by the way.
Oh, yeah, we will. We'll touch on some players in a minute, Lee. I'm just going to go through results in a minute. Let's just take us through. Then we went on a real bad run, didn't we? Like, we lost to Chelsea, we lost to Bournemouth. I'm looking here. We lost to Leicester, we lost to Hull, we lost to Arsenal. And then it got to the Swansea game, which, again, was a big pressure cooker game. And it was really, if we didn't win that, we could have been dragged right into it at that point, so late in the season.
That's just reminded me that actually it was after the Arsenal game. It was probably the first time I thought we're going down. We were shocking that night.
It just didn't look like we had anything at that point.
No goal in us.
Yeah. And I think Antonio didn't he get injured at that sort of point? Antonio
he got injured in that game, yeah.
But let's talk about that as well. Injuries this year, guys. You've had probably nearly everyone in our first 11 has had an injury at some point. No,
and it's something ridiculous, like 9 operations as well.
You got to think
unprecedented.
Cresswell was injured at some point. Byron was injured at some point. Masuaku, Reed, Ogbonna, Obiang.
Kiati had a spell out.
Sacco, Carroll,
Noble.
Ayew,
yeah, pulled up first game, yeah. So, is it Slav's fault that he didn't know his first 11? Because so many injuries. It's unbelievable how many injuries. And not just silly ones like 2 games, it's 6 to 8 weeks plus.
Yeah, like I say, an unprecedented amount of operations. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you can't put your finger on it, can you?
No. Obviously, like I say, after that game, we drew 2-2 at Sunderland. Few 0-0s in there. Obviously, the most amazing game of the season, 5th of May. 1-0 win against Tottenham. Unbelievable. Fantastic. Stopping them winning the league again. Lost 4-0 to Liverpool, and then obviously ended it this Sunday with a 2-1 win to Burnley. There's not many wins to talk about this year like it was last year.
I have to say that the Burnley win was a surprise result for me.
No, it was.
It really was. I thought we were already on the beach and we'd get rolled over.
They've had a fantastic home record as well this year, Burnley as well.
Great goal.
Go there and win.
Goal.
Both goals. It was a great goal for Burnley, yeah.
I know it was a tap-in, but the shot from Fernandes, by the way, has been signing of the season without doubt. I know we'll get onto that, but yeah.
So like I say, not many in terms of wins or memorable even moments to talk about this year like it was last year. But so obviously we finished 11th, guys. I put a tweet out straight after the game saying that, we finished 11th, bit sugar-coated, but 17 losses, guys. Let's comment on that. 17 losses. What's you guys? That's nearly half season defeats.
The fact we had 17 losses, finished 11th, point from the top half, point from 8th or something ridiculous like that, whatever it was, shows how crap the Premier League has been this season.
I'd agree with that.
Premier League.
That's not good enough, though, is it?
It's not. But we've been on a consistent level with most other clubs in the division.
I've been saying for the last good amount of weeks now, and Luke, I know you've been saying the same. We were saying that as far as it goes with Slav, time to let him go, because I don't see how things can change next year. However, I think I'm kind of, now the season's actually over, I'm leaning more in the, that was a real turbulent season. There was a lot going on. He's had one really, really good season, one really, really bad season. And I think next season now will show where he really is. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I'm just looking as well.
So can I just pull one thing up there? Really, really bad season?
Well, yeah.
I
think so.
You classify this season as really, really bad?
Yeah, I think so. But
show me a scale. What's the scale?
A
I'm
scale
being
is
serious. What's the scale in terms of vocabulary? Where's it go?
all right. So you're
So
talking
Chelsea's is
Chelsea. You're talking about this year, right? So Chelsea
in
had
word.
an incredible season,
Okay.
considering where they came from last year. They had an
Liverpool
incredible
finished
season.
fourth.
Disappointing, probably for
They had a
them.
good no. Liverpool had a good season, mate. They won the Champions League. That's what they got it.
Yeah, it's
Now, for
fourth
me,
place cup.
like
I would say
the phrase "really, really bad" is relegation.
Yeah, and we weren't far off it.
No, but
If
we
it
weren't
weren't-
far off finishing eighth either. If we finished eighth, that would have been a good season, right?
yeah, but then you look at like you say, Lee. I know again realism again here. 7th Everton. I'm looking at the table now. 61 points, and then 8th, 46. Like that gap is horrendous from all them teams.
I know
All
when you
them
talk
teams.
when you
No,
talk
but like I'm
about
saying, the top 6, top 7 this year have been just a mile ahead.
Oh no,
of
no,
every
yeah.
other
but
club in
but
season.
when you say that the yardstick for being safe is 40 points,
And then we're 5 points over it.
to me that's a bad season to me, especially where we came from last year.
Listen, Bournemouth had a good season. I'm looking. They're 9th, 46 points. That is a great season for a club of that size. The club that we were supposed to be becoming, that's not a
But
good
that's the
season.
key, isn't it? Becoming. We're not there yet. So, in isolation, an 11th place finish for West Ham United is a good season.
But it's more than the league table. I know at the end of the season that's what
That's
goes
what
in the
matters.
record books, and that's all that
What matters.
matters, where you finish in the league. But it's not, is it? It's not all that matters.
Do you know when
Because
we got promoted? I remember saying, if we won 1-0 every week, fantastic. That would have been fantastic. Would have got us promoted. I don't care about all that fancy football. We got enough points to finish 11th. For
so
me,
why do you
that's
go
this
to
season.
why do you go to games if all that matters is the league table position at the end of the season?
Because of the buzz.
But where's the buzz if you're losing 17 games a season
No, but I don't care for
and
them.
we're playing poor football?
Like, sorry, let me rephrase that. I'll still go even if we're losing. That doesn't bother me. Losing bothers me.
Yeah, not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if all that matters is your position on a piece of paper at the end of the season.
Because it's cumulative, isn't it? You have to go through the season to get to that end point. But the only thing that matters is the end point.
No, I disagree. I think the actual season itself is more important than the end result.
So if you have a crap season and finish fourth, that's rubbish.
You can't. How could you have a
You
crap
would have
season and
had a
finish
crap
fourth?
season, though.
Okay, who? So Arsenal finished fifth.
Yeah, that's a crap season for them.
Yeah, but this is a good season for us. We're West Ham.
Yeah,
we're
but
West Ham United.
Nah.
Please don't forget.
not-
This is the
Poor,
problem. We're
poor,
West Ham.
Yeah, I know we're West Ham. But
Here we go. Team up time. Come on.
poor. It's poor. I'm just looking as well. 47 goals we scored.
Averaging 2 goals conceded a game, and you reckon
Is
that
that
was a good
good?
season?
Is that good?
No, but all that matters is the league table.
No, I agree that as long as you don't finish in them bottom 3 at the end, it's not a good season. It's you're okay, you're there again. But don't you want more than that?
No, of course I do. But I'm not going to be naive enough to think that this year, given everything that's happened, and a lot has happened because we've talked about it. Payet's happened. 9 ridiculous injuries that required operations. Umpteen other injuries. Ridiculous turbulence. Fan base fighting each other. So much has happened this season. To finish 11th, I think is outstanding.
I don't know. Considering, right, if you go back and you watch all of our podcasts throughout the season, and the amount that we've moaned about things, I don't know how you
Exactly.
can say at the end of it that was a good season. I don't.
But that's another factor, isn't it? The fact that the fan base has been just miserable all
I think
season.
we're fighting in the stands. I'm thinking now. I think you can't blame that at all. Probably in 1985 when we finished third, West Ham were probably the biggest ICF firm in the country. Probably fighting every week.
So it's another factor, isn't it?
Yeah,
no, but then if you want to make that point, it was sort of not the done thing, but it was no. Now fighting in the stands isn't unless you go very very rare.
yeah, let's go to Millwall. Yeah.
It's a bigger shock that it happens now than it would have done in the 80s and the 70s.
I think the only the way I can use a good season is a good consolation season.
Yeah, considering up until literally 3 weeks ago, we were still talking about being relegated. I don't know how you can call that a good season.
Because we finished 11th at the end of it.
No, I don't think it's been a good season. I really don't. And all the question marks we've had this season about Slav as well, managing. He's had to deal with a lot. Again, I take it all. He's had to deal with a lot. But I think he could have solved some of those problems himself by not being so stubborn. And there were times where players needed to be dropped and he didn't. And I think we could have maybe got a few more draws than we did wins. And again, Lee, we hold the record this year for most losses from winning positions. That's poor. It's poor. It's a poor season.
I'm not saying it's been great. All right, let me put it another way, okay?
You said it was a good season.
Yeah.
Well, to finish 11th, yeah. But the journey hasn't been. But to finish 11th is a good result.
The journey hasn't.
All right then. Okay.
I'll give you that.
So the season itself. Listen, what do you think of this, Lee? Right. So the season itself was bad. The finishing position was all right.
Yeah, that's a better way of wording it. I think that's.
If we're trying to come to some sort of agreement, then I'll take that. I guess I'll take that.
Because I'm not gonna.
Given everything that's happened this season, to finish 11th is a bloody good achievement. Because a lot of clubs would have been relegated in the situation that we've gone through this year.
Yeah, but how much of that is down to us, and how much of that is down to how bad the rest of the other teams were below us?
Look at, for example, Burnley, who finished below us. Superb home record. Superb. Most of the Champions League sides would have taken their home record. They finished below us. They had a good season.
Yes, but they were newly promoted.
I said at the start of the season, this year will be rubbish. You can look at the podcast, and you two both had a go at me, by the way.
No, I agree, Lee. I'll totally agree with that comment. You called a lot of things this year with Payet, etc.
And I also said, I'm going to mention it again, I also said that Payet would be crap this year. Okay? And so given that everything that has happened, I think expectations were far too high, and I blame the owners for that. I do blame the owners for that 100%. That they... and maybe because of how good we were last year. But I just think expectations went through the roof, and people need to remember we're West Ham. We're not Barcelona.
No one expects us to be Barcelona.
I think that has been lost somewhere. I think the expectation level at West Ham has gone too high too quick. I think that's a major problem.
Yeah, yes and no. I would have liked to have seen a progression though. If Tottenham would have had the... Let's pretend, okay, Tottenham of 5 years ago, I'm thinking here, okay, who was it? Harry. Say when Harry was in charge, yeah? So they had a good, solid season, and then they built on it. We don't build. We have good, terrible.
But that's been the case for our lifetime.
Yeah, but we need to change that. They need to change that.
Yeah, I know, but we went from...
You say that's a history thing, yeah? The players that were playing 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 are not the same players. It's up to us to change it.
And that's a loser's mentality as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but West Ham.
Yeah, I know, but...
So what?
It's time to change being West Ham.
This wasn't the year for it.
That's like saying,
this wasn't
we're West Ham. We're West Ham. We know our place. We're just that little rubbish club that no one cares about. That's like saying that.
Start of the season, you came over, you went to the Juventus friendly.
Yeah.
And you remember the people behind, and you even said it to me on the day. I remember you exactly saying it, how wind up they were getting because we weren't beating Juventus.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah, of course I do.
That is the expectation level at West Ham at the moment. They expect to be beating Juventus.
I've never expected to beat Juventus.
No, not you. That's what they were. You agree?
Yeah, I know.
That's what's happened at West Ham. We've now got this fan base that automatically think we have a right to be eating at the top table. We don't.
No, we don't.
No, we don't. But
in terms of pushing on, please let me finish. In terms of pushing on, 2 years ago we had Colton Clark front. We had an Italian international at front at the start. Yes, a poor Italian side. No. We had an Italian. So they tried to push on by signing an Italian international, who, in theory, on paper, was better than what we had. Yes.
Oh yeah.
So there was an attempt. To push on. There was. You can't deny it. There was an attempt to push on.
Ultimately, it was an attempt that failed.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was a poor season.
No, all this transfer stuff, I'm very nervous about it going ahead as well. In terms of, again, what we're talking about, what me and Paul are trying to argue is the progression. I can see us, getting a bid accepted for someone like Inalcio, however you pronounce it, or Michi Bastiai, and then we'll come up with some bollocks saying we'll pay it in instalments.
Beep.
Yeah, but it's true. Like, oh yeah, we'll pay 30 million for him, but we'll pay it 1 million a month.
But we don't know that, do we? We don't know that.
No,
this is my point from last
does
week.
go on because that clearly goes on because that's why we missed out on a lot of players. If you believe what you read, just pay the money. It's there. We had 25 million clearly sitting there for Zaza. So just go and spend that 25 million on Inalcio. Go, bomb, 25 million. Bye.
What happens if he then flops?
If he flops, he flops. But I don't think he will. I really don't think he will.
If you look back to Tor, had the anger that we didn't get him on a permanent deal, and then 5 weeks later, the anger trying to get him out of the club.
I wasn't calling
different class of player though.
We're talking about West Ham, aren't we?
No, but
that was what happened.
Do you not want to see some ambition like Inalcio though? Just go, boom.
I would love. Well, if you want to talk about progression, I want us to go out and buy a finished product. He is not a finished product.
No, but he's raw talent.
He is. No, I 100% agree, and I'd love if we signed him.
And the only reason he's not in the team is because of Jesus and Aguero. Whenever he's come in, he scored. This season, I've made when I was reading about him before the show, whenever he's came in, he scored.
There is a slight caveat to that stat, though, is that he's never scored a vital goal.
I think he's got something like...
Goal?
I think he's got the highest goals to minutes ratio in the Premier League.
But he's never scored a vital goal.
All goals are vital goals. Like.
No, you know what I mean. All of his goals have been when they're 2-0 up, 3-0 up. He's never come on in a pressurised situation and scored a goal. Don't get me wrong. I want to sign him. If we do sign him, I'll be delighted. But I'd rather we sign a finished product at the moment.
Who's out there, though, that we could realistically
I'm not a scout. Don't ask me that question. I'm not a scout. I don't know. I want Cohen Henry and Slaven Bilic to go out and find a finished product.
What I want is this will not happen, but I want Inalcio bought 20-25 mil, and I want Michi Bastiai on loan with option to buy.
We all want that, but you know
that would be dreams tonight. But why can't we go and do that? Why can't they go and do that? Because they piss poor.
Do you want an answer to that? I'm not an owner, am I?
Sorry? Again, there's no realistic ambition. It's all want to get a little sneaky one for 12 million, sneaky one for 15 million. No, you've got to go and pay 30 odd million if you want quality.
What is quality in this day and age, though?
Someone who can bang in 15 goals.
There aren't many of them. There aren't many of them.
No, there ain't many of them. But you need to go and buy someone with the potential to do it.
But that's a different thing. Potential to score 15 goals and being able to is two very, very different
I think that's a fair point, though. Like, we're West Ham, and we'll all agree we're not in a position to go out and buy a finished article 15 to 20 goal a season striker.
No.
So we have to try and gamble on finding that Lanzini.
Yeah, but you're not going to get a 15 goal striker for 10 million.
No.
You're not. Like, there's a guy at Leeds. I quite like him as well, Chris Woods. But again, that for me is risky than Inalcio is. No?
I don't know. Would you rather spend...
Vazquez scored 25 goals in the Championship. What did he do in the Premier League? Shocking.
I didn't hear the name. I
said Vazquez scored 25 goals in the Championship, didn't he? Combined clubs. Premier League, he looked well out of sorts. Every player is a gamble. At the end of the day, every player is a gamble. Torres scored 25 goals for Liverpool, went to Chelsea, couldn't hit a barn door.
He's available on a free, I think.
Yeah, I think he's going to go Newcastle. I reckon he'll go Newcastle.
I'll tell you what, he's had a really good season as well. I'd be well happy to have him.
I like him. He's one of the best players I've seen play against us. Liverpool days, unbelievable. Just touching back to the season review, guys, before we carry on with transfer arguments. Worst player of the season for you for West Ham?
Worst?
Yeah.
If you're looking at one who's played...
Biggest disappointment. I'll put that biggest disappointment.
Should we limit it to one that's actually had a decent crack at it? Because it's too easy.
Yeah, we're not
going to say Zaza, really.
We're not going to put people like that, or people that have genuinely been really bad, like Cagliari's and stuff like that.
Biggest disappointment for me this season has been Cresswell.
That's a good shout.
That's a very good shout. Yeah.
But I blame that on, we were in such a dire situation, they rushed him back. He came back far too soon. And again, I don't know if that's true or not, but from what I can see, he didn't play any development matches. He came straight back into that Palace game and actually played really well. He got sent off, if you recall.
Yeah.
I think he hasn't been, when there's about 50-50s and things, he hasn't been hitting them like he was previously.
Back in the England team, though, Lee, today?
In his squad, yeah. I haven't seen the full squad, but I assume... I know Rose has been injured, Bertrand, and... who else is usually in and around it? Bertrand, Rose...
Danny Rose, yeah.
Danny Rose is injured.
Luke Shaw?
Luke Shaw's injured. So I'm assuming he's only in there because of injuries, but...
Yeah. Biggest, best player? There's a few. Even in a disappointing season, I think Antonio's been excellent. Led by example.
Mm-hmm.
Winston Reid for me. Reid. I love Winston Reid. The guy's been immense.
I think there might be some bids for him in the summer.
Yeah, I have to say as well, Collins, since he's come back into the side, since Ogbon has been injured, has been fantastic. Obviously, Obiang, Lanzini.
Lee's unsung hero, Obiang, fantastic. And the fact that people who sit next to us and behind us were saying, so glad this guy's injured, so glad this guy's gone off, he's terrible. It's like, are you serious? Like, these are people that don't know football clearly, because Obiang has ticked us over at times this year, really has. Because, in fairness to Sheck, like, he's turned up a few games this year, but he's had a fairly sort of in and out season, Kiati, hasn't he? Like,
I'd throw him in with Cresswell, actually.
Yeah, I really do love Sheck as well, but yeah, I think he's been disappointing this year. Another one, just quickly, Masuaku. I think he's been excellent when he played, and I think he was harshly judged in that West Brom game when he did the double handball thing.
100%. Like when he first joined, and his first couple of appearances for us, I was saying at the time, he's better than Cresswell, and he's going to go on to be a really, really good player. A really, really good player, and he really is. And I said as well about Lanzini at the start of season 2. I've been saying about him for the last 2 years, about how important Lanzini is to us. And I'm pleased now that he's finally getting that recognition. I really am.
Yeah, him as well. Argentina squad now. Some rumours from Chelsea, actually, that obviously he's been likened to Luka Modric, I think I read. It's making me nervous. It's getting to that point where it's, okay, Manuel, can you have a few bad games again, please? So,
we said last week, and it's unless we do something amazing in the next couple of years, he'll be gone. Like, I don't think he's going anywhere this year.
To be honest, I think we've got him for a year. I think we've got him one more year.
I don't think he's going anywhere this year, but like
I don't think he's going anywhere this year. Yeah. Enjoy him. I think the Zabaleta deal is possible. Again, the Zabaleta one's very, very close, guys, for those who don't know. I think the Zabaleta deal has been done as a bit of a sweetener. Another RG in, sort of keep him sweet. I don't know. But yeah, I think all I'm going to say with Lanzini is enjoy him while we've got him, because I can't see him being there long. He is destined for bigger things, let's be honest, guys. He is destined for bigger things. No?
Oh, yeah, I've said it since day one, mate. Go back and watch our shows from last season. I've said it since day one.
I don't want to labour a point, but you just had a go at me about lacking ambition.
No.
That's just the facts, mate. That's just the way it is.
I was only saying facts, and you two had a go at me.
That's not me, though. That's not me. That's our board. Our board are not stubborn.
There's no difference to what you said to what I was saying. No difference.
It is really, because this is the fear I have about not going forward, because I can see us going back to that stage where we start selling our star players. We're supposed to be
fair to the board. To be fair to the board, we don't.
Player is different scenario.
Yeah, we haven't sold a player for money. Well, Tompkins went, but we don't sell players.
But I think if Lanzini went, I think that could be the start of it. Do you not think Antonio would start going then?
At the current squad, Chiati,
Antonio Reid,
Lanzini, Antonio Reid.
Yeah, and Lanzini.
These are the only ones we could probably sell.
Well,
after the season we just had.
Obiang would probably be able to get a decent move.
Linked with other clubs as well.
Ogbon has been linked with Chelsea. Yeah, I reckon there's some value there. But no, I mean that's we don't want to see it happen. We don't want to see Lanzini leave.
I think purely because he by me saying he's destined for bigger things, I mean he's destined for more than 7th in the Premier League.
But you said when you were saying about spending 20 odd million on a striker,
but again, this goes
what
back
I said,
to.
and you both said I was lacking ambition. It's exactly the same. That's what I'm saying.
It goes back to that, Lee. If we don't show ambition and try to push on, we are not going to keep him.
Yeah, no, but you could spend 5 million on a player and he turns out to be amazing.
I literally said at the start of this, unless we do something big, he's gonna go.
Yeah.
So it define big.
Well, we need to.
Big. You've got to.
We need to show ambition. Yeah.
So
we need to show that we're going somewhere, that we're doing something as a club.
Zabaleta for me is a fantastic signing. A lot of
West Ham come out. Bilic has come out and said they're after 3 players this summer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
to me quality, that makes sense. To me that makes sense.
Quality, if they're quality.
Yeah. To me that makes sense, but other West Ham fans will not see it that way. They will moan about that.
Maybe, but it depends who them 3 are.
Mm. If we went out,
Sorry, go on, Paul.
No, I was going to say, it depends who those 3 are. If we went out and say we signed Zabaleta, say then we went on and we signed Batshuayi or Iheanacho, and then we went and signed Sigurdsson, you telling me West Ham fans wouldn't be happy? Of course they would.
That's not going to happen, is it?
No, but
that's what needs to happen.
That's what we're saying. They can't go.
Given the season we just had, that should be our aim.
What?
Yes.
No. Earlier on, you were saying about unrealistic targets.
Right. Okay. Sigurdsson's not going to come to West Ham. Okay, fair enough. He's an unrealistic target. But somebody like that, somebody on that same kind of level, I don't think is unrealistic for West Ham. I don't.
What's it? Hang on. If it's the same level, then surely Sigurdsson's okay.
Well, no, because from the sounds of things, he's already got a move tied up to Everton.
Clubs that have shown ambition are after him, like an Everton who have built steadily.
Yeah, but
we need to become.
That's the point I'm making. We're still missing that gap.
We're not building steadily because we're going backwards.
We tried. We tried.
We really did try. We tried to get Lacazette. We tried to get Bakker, and we was going to pay monthly for him. Again,
that wasn't that. We don't know that. Goes back to my point last year. We don't.
Lacazette was unrealistic. Lacazette was unrealistic. He could go to probably any club in the world. Bakker was definitely realistic, and again, this is rumours, but at the time it looked like we had a deal tied down, and he decided to go somewhere. Or we went back in for him, and then changed the terms, and he pulled out.
Yeah. Right. Well, that brings to an end that interesting discussion. I'm sure we will be arguing all summer over that sort of things. Let's go into the questions, guys. I hope you enjoyed our season review. Again, it's not the greatest season review this year because it's nowhere near what we did last year. Okay, first question. West Ham Scotland, how do you feel about Cresswell being recalled to the England squad? Good for him.
Pleased for him.
Come out of the blue a little bit because I don't think he's been that great. We've already discussed that he's not had the best of seasons.
Does show how weak the England squad is, though, doesn't it? How poor it's been.
Yeah. SB, do you think we will get a sweet rapper again to launch our kit?
That was so bad last year, wasn't it?
It was embarrassing. I don't think they're going to
make... It was even worse. I watched it.
Yeah, I know. I don't think they're going to make the same mistake again. Don't do any of that nonsense. Just release the kit and just release the kit.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. If you're going to do it tomorrow, as the rumours are, with Zabaleta, then fair enough. I quite like that when they do that with like a new signing and a new kit and stuff.
I think that one last year was blatantly set up to announce a signing, and
that was meant to be backup,
and we didn't sign anybody.
Do you know what annoys me about it all is that West Ham seem to create this whole mystery and sort of
international secret.
Yeah, around the new kit. Well, most other clubs, just like 3 weeks early in the season, that's going to be our kit for next year.
I know.
Well, for any of you guys that have seen the Everton kit, it is going to be claret and blue version of that. From what you read, Daniel, are we really going to start this argument again, guys? Who are your ideal summer signings this summer? Striker, bench striker, right back, winger, goalkeeper for me.
Sam again?
He says
Do them one at a time. One at a time,
Striker.
and we'll pick.
striker, Michi Bastiat for me.
Like ideal world.
Starting striker.
Do you know?
Let's,
If I want to be realistic,
Jermaine Defoe probably will not come now.
well, similar player to
Ridiculous.
Defoe, there's a guy who plays at Nottingham Forest called Assombalonga,
Yeah,
who
yeah.
scores goals for fun.
Big Brit.
Yeah, I would love us to sign him.
I'll tell you what, one for me that would be ambitious but risky. I would love Tammy Abrahams from Bristol City. Well, he's a Chelsea player, isn't he? That is worth a go, in my opinion.
Do you know what? Just because it's in my head now, and I like the thought of it, I'm actually going to go back and say Fernando Torres.
Bench striker.
Oh, wait, can I swap? So Torres can be my bench striker. Sorry, I didn't realise we were getting two picks.
But maybe Tammy Abrahams is my bench striker then, as the guy we could get in on loan from Chelsea possibly.
Right, I'd
He's
say
on £50 a week though. £50 a week.
I'd say Ian Acho is my main then, and Torres is my bench.
Lee.
Yeah, yeah, like I said, Assombalonga, I'd love us to sign. Dunno.
Right back looks like that's done. Zabala, and I'm very happy with that signing. Are you happy with that signing, guys? I know
If
some
it
fans
happens,
aren't.
once it's on the official website, it's
Leader as well.
Yeah.
Leader.
yeah, captain at Man City. Man City, love. What is he, 30?
32.
Which is nothing this day and age.
Mate, I say it all the time. Again, a slightly different time in football, but Stuart Pearce, Nigel Winterburn, Rufus Brevitt, all plus 33. Some of the best fullbacks that have ever played for West Ham, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I have slight worry that he couldn't play the wing back role.
Yeah.
I've-
Winger. Sorry.
So I was
Yeah.
going to say, I've seen a lot of people saying that he could possibly come in, if we're going to play five at the back, he could possibly come in as that right-sided centre-back, and then
Like,
have,
as with a quitter. Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
have
yeah.
Byram next to him. I think that could work quite well.
And then he also says winger.
We need a winger?
I personally would like to see Masuaku pushed up to left wing.
Yeah, we've mentioned this, haven't we?
Yeah, we've said
Yeah.
that a few times. I'd quite like to see that.
What we got? We got Ayew, Faguli,
Antonio.
Antonio. Probably one
Snodgrass.
more then. Snodgrass.
Yeah. Would he go?
Fingers crossed.
I don't know. I don't think he will. We won't get our money back for him, so I don't see him being able to sell him.
Goalkeeper. Again, I think we'll be possibly trying to buy a bench goalkeeper if we go for a goalkeeper now. No, I think Adrian sort of wouldn't have signed a contract on the
Valdez.
premises. He's not going to start.
Valdez just released.
Yeah, Casillas was apparently we were in for. Gonna some rumours. I've been reading rumours.
If you're going for ambition, though,
Who's money?
Joe Hart is obviously one, and also Pickford at Sunderland.
Yeah.
I think Valdez would be a decent
Begovic,
backup keeper, though.
Chelsea.
Begovic would definitely be a starter.
I heard Valdez to Chelsea, Begovic somewhere else.
Right.
Is what I heard.
I can see that.
In the know there.
What? No, don't know. I have my sources, isn't it?
Yeah, mayonnaise and ketchup. SP. Realistically, what do you project will be the spend this summer? That's a good one.
Who knows?
I reckon 60.
If I
Million.
60 million, I reckon realistically, just 25. I think we need to spend a hell of a lot more than that, but I don't trust this ball to spend that amount of money. But we'll see.
Like,
Do you know we spent 20 million on Ayew last year? I know it was too much considering they didn't pay anything for him the year before. But you talk about ambition and things. Sorry, I'm going back again. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But we bought their best player. We went out. We
it
said
was a good signing. It was a good signing.
we went out to Swansea, but we did show. That's what I'm saying. We said about ambition. We went to
Sigurdsson
Swansea.
should
And said,
have been the signing now in hindsight.
we're
Sigurdsson
taking your
should have
best
been the
player.
guy that we took 20 million.
Yeah, but hindsight is amazing. In terms of this year, if we spend 30 million and don't sell, yeah,
It's good. leads into a very good question. This next question from West Ham Project. I challenge you guys to make a starting 11 with 3 new signings in it. Just put ABC in positions like striker, right back, goalkeeper, 1-2. Then make a bench and watch how difficult it is to choose only 7 players. Watch who's left out. I'd like to see the squad you guys can come up with.
So if our 3 new signings is Zabaleta,
left back. This is what I'd like to see. Okay, I'll do mine first. Yeah, should I? Adrian, Cresswell, Ogbonna, Reed, Font, Zabaleta, right wing back. I'm going to play him right wing back. Yeah. Chiatti, Obiang, Lanzini as like a point. Masuaku left wing, Antonio right wing, Inalcio or Michi Bastia up top. On the bench, I would keep Andy Carroll, Randolph, Fernandez, Noble,
Faguli,
Fletcher, Faguli,
Collins,
Cullen. I wouldn't mind Cullen being that last spot.
I mean, I'd go with that pretty much exactly, to be honest. I think that's probably would be our best team.
I'd go, change it slightly. So Adrian, probably the same back 5, yeah. But midfield, I'd go a diamond, and I'd go Obiang, Chiatti, Fernandez, Lanzini in the top of the diamond, and then Antonio, and if we could sign him, someone like a Sombalonga up front.
Bench.
So Randolph, defender Font. No, he's playing. Is he? Yeah. So Collins, Cullen, Noble, Faguli, Fletcher, Carroll. That's 7.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, are you?
Oh, are you? Yes, there you go. See, he did say you watch the players that are left out.
Well, like, are you?
Yeah, he did say that. The guy, watch the players you leave out. I didn't even think of are you. To be
Can
fair.
we have? This is too much to do on the spot. I need a little bit. I need
We need some
some time.
time. We'll post it up on Twitter.
Maybe we'll touch on that one again next week. We'll give ourselves a week to sort of write one down. Greg, do you ever see an academy player breaking into the team next season under Slav? If so, who? 2, despite what David Gold said, I don't think Slav is big on youth, given Rice 4 minutes against Burnley and Keena being on the bench a lot. P.S. Love the show, lads.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, obviously I've made my video. I think Dave Gold's comment very detrimental, and he needed to think a bit more. You know, he like at the end of the day, he is the voice of West Ham, whether he says he is or not on Twitter.
Can I come in? Because I bit my tongue all week on this, on Twitter. Bit my fingers, if you like. What he said is true. Unfortunately.
Yeah, but I don't know if you watched my video, Lee. His comment was teenagers. Yeah. So the teenagers, Keena, Oxford. Yeah. Okay. Cullen, 21. Samuelson, 21. I think Reece Burke is even 20 in the next couple of weeks. So teenagers, yeah. Okay. And I'm talking your young teenagers, 16, 17, 18. But if you're not ready at 21, are you ever going to be ready?
No, but I think it's hard to... Do you know what? He shouldn't have said it. He shouldn't have even put the tweet out. Maybe like I shouldn't have put that tweet out last week. We all make mistakes. That's the problem with Twitter, is that you've got 58 characters, wherever it is, to put a point across, and he put it across badly. But the point he was making was, it is very... If the point he was trying to make is, it is very difficult for young players to break into Premier League squads, then I 100% agree with him.
No, it is hard. It's hard. I agree with that. It's hard.
There's one thing saying that, and then there's another thing. Like, you have to think about what you're saying.
The whole youth team out.
Yeah,
he said it the day after they won that cup to get promoted.
Mm.
Yeah, all I'm saying is, if the point he was trying to... What he said, he shouldn't have said, But the point he was trying to make was, and he should never have said it.
No.
The fact he said, if the point that he said was, it is very difficult for young players to break into Premier League squads, and I 100% agree with that point, because it is.
But yeah, like you say, but he shouldn't have said it.
So, okay, right then. Let's leave the David Gold question bit. Do you feel there is anyone who can make the jump, and will they be given a chance?
It's very difficult to tell, and it's sort of chicken and egg, isn't it? Because unless they come on every so often, then you never know, do you?
Can they do any worse than what some of them players have played this season? Could Samuelson do any worse than Fagudi and Tor? As I said in the video, can Cullen do any worse than Mark Noble?
We don't know, do we? You'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt.
So at that point, should they have been given a chance this year?
Probably. But if you've got a team, if you've got a squad, and it kind of goes back to David Gold's point, doesn't it? It's easier, like, it's hard to say. Like, if you're going to pee someone off, you don't want to pee off the international, or not the international, but the experienced player. You pee off the youngster. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. If I'm looking at it from Bilic's perspective, if you've got a squad of players, it's easier. This is what I meant to say. Okay, let me put it this way.
Yeah,
it's easier for him not to play the kids than it is not to play the
I agree with that, but that doesn't mean that an international that's just turning up for his paycheck every week and not playing well deserves.
That's not what I said. No, that's not what I said though. I just said it's easy. If I'm putting
that would upset them though. If the international was dropped for the youth player, they would be upset.
Yeah, that's the point I'm making. Yeah.
Yeah, so that doesn't justify that an international shouldn't get dropped, though.
No, but I'm just trying to put myself into Bilic's shoes, and if you're looking at squad harmony, it's easier to send a youngster out on loan.
Yeah, but then you get a season like we got now then. Crap.
Yeah, but it's chicken and egg,
trying to keep the internationals happy that weren't playing well enough. No?
Yeah, it's chicken and egg, isn't it? Like I keep saying.
Yeah, no. I'm trying to argue both points.
Yeah, it's incredibly difficult. No other Premier League club does it on the sort of we get questions every week, and you get a list of about 5 players. No other Premier League club throws in 5 youth players.
No, and we don't want that. And I've said that as well. That I'm not asking for a youth player to be thrown in and be the difference maker, to be the man who comes and shores it up. But I'm asking them to be given some time on the pitch.
What about for the last game of the season? Obviously, game didn't mean anything really. Man United played quite a lot of kids in their last game of the season. Obviously, they had Europa Cup final as well, so obviously they were resting players. But they chucked in quite a few kids, and then talking to a few Man United fans, they were really excited. Yeah, they did well, and they were really excited by what looks to be the future. And if you don't ever give them that chance in a meaningless game at the end of the season, when are you going to give them a chance? You're not.
I agree. But did any other Premier League club do that? Everton,
I don't know.
For example, Enner Valencia started for Everton. He's not even their player.
Well, maybe they were just trying to make a decision whether they want to sign him or not.
No, but Everton over the course of the yearly, over the course of the season, they've played a lot of youth. A lot of youth have broke through at Everton this year. They was actually number 1, Everton, in terms of teenage minutes.
I know, but Everton aside, who have always been very good at it, let's put it that way. The other point to make is our players coming through our youth squad haven't been good enough, and the fact that none of them have gone on to do anything in the last 5 years, I think, speaks volumes.
Apart from
and Sam Allardyce got a lot of flack for not bringing in youth players, similar flack to what Phillips has got this season.
I'd say
not how detrimental was that 5-0 game? How detrimental
I'm not talking about the 5-0 game. Throughout his tenure, there was always criticism of Allardyce that he didn't bring in youth players. None of those youth players has gone on and set the world on fire, have they?
Yeah, but how detrimental was that 5-0 to him then?
Well, we never know, do we?
No, we don't know, but I'm just like, I don't know. I really like the players like Stanislas.
Stanislas is doing well now. Is doing
I really like Stanislas.
But he sort of had a
job at West Ham.
I might be coming across wrong here. I'd love to see youth players in West. Don't get me wrong, I would. But I think you have to be realistic about it. I really do. And take an example, there are times this season where if you would have thrown in some youth players and we would have ended up getting beaten, that could have again killed their confidence. And There's been so many games this season that have been must-win, and it's very difficult to throw in kids in a must-win game.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. I do agree with that. You can't again, but I'm not saying that either. I'm not saying throw them in the deep end. I'm
for
saying
me,
start giving them 20 minutes.
Accrington in the League Cup, we were terrible. For me, that would have been perfect. Like Wenger's done at Arsenal. He never plays until maybe recently when he's been more desperate to win something, but that would have been a game where you would have thrown in. Even Reece Oxford was on the bench for that game. It was weird.
I really do want to see Cullen given a chance this year, though. If I'm picking a player I want to see given a chance, I'd like to see Cullen given a chance. I think
they'll all be playing. They'll all be playing pre-season, so we'll get a chance to look at them again then. And I'm sure we'll be saying the same things that we said last year. And then the same thing will probably happen. They'll all be loaned out, and we'll never see them. But still, there you go.
It's easier, I think, for a centre forward to come in because there's less.
Yeah. I remember when Tompkins first come through. It was very, there's certain positions you have to learn, and it takes time. But like I say, attacking positions is easier, I think. Andy Smith, do you feel our board are an embarrassment to the club? I am grateful for them buying us at the time, but the stupid use of Twitter, the Insider article, the tactics around transfer targets and season details, the Sun column, kit launches, etc., all make it feel like a circus.
So I think it's an opportune moment to mention David Sullivan this week. And I'm not linking it to that question in the slightest, but it just seems the right moment to bring it in. And all that stuff I agree with. But what him and his son have done this week with the guy from Manchester is fantastic, actually. And for him to have no connection to the city, to do what he's done, it made me immensely proud to say that he owns the football club that I love. And not in no way am I linking it to that question. Can I just make that very, very clear? But it just in an opportune moment to bring it up because it was mentioned in the board. But very, very sad what has happened this week, by the way. I'm very sorry. I think
the board have learned, though, Lee, that
things like the kit launches, is that David Sullivan, David Gold?
Oh, it's a marketing team, isn't it?
Yeah.
Probably, I'd say that kind of thing's probably more down to Brady than anybody else.
Yeah. I think they've learnt, though, and I think this summer you won't hear as much from them. I think we'll see again. We will see, and we'll probably argue and discuss it again. But I'm hoping they keep quiet this year. Again, we've not even had, apparently, again, all rumours, Zabaleta is meant to be signing tomorrow. We've not even had a tease from Jack that someone's coming, if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah, that's obviously he might not sign tomorrow, he might not sign at all. We don't know. But if he does sign tomorrow, like you say, that's actually a good point. I haven't thought about that. That was a massive thing last year with, signing's going to be announced within the next 48 hours. Signing going to be announced within the next 5 days. Like, shut up. Just don't.
There's not even been a tease this year.
Yeah.
Lewis John, how long will Bilic be given next season? I don't think he will see past October, November if we are struggling. I agree.
I don't, to be honest with you, because I think if they were going to sack him, they would have done it by now. I think if they were going to sack him, they would have done it at the end of the season. And if they're keeping him on, I don't see any other thing. They'll let him run out his contract. And that's that.
If we're in trouble?
If we're in trouble. I don't think they'll sack him. They just haven't got form for it.
Wages though. I don't it's not like Allardyce, who was on ridiculous money and would have cost like $3 million to get rid of. I reckon you could get rid of that Slav for about $500,000.
It would depend on who's available as well, I suppose, because they're not going to pay to get someone out of their contract. So, but no. I think if they were going to let him go, they would have done it at the end of this season. So I think they'll now see out his contract.
Yeah. Obviously, your call, Paul, was leaving Hull, Marco Silva.
Yeah,
but I think he's going to go Palace. I think that's where we'll see him next. West Hammered. Should Randolph and Cash be used as bait to secure a new goalkeeper for us like Jordan Pickford? Would like to see it. But again, ambition and stuff. I think Pickford you probably see him playing for Everton or someone like that next year, no?
thing is with Randolph, he's waited a long time to get a chance in the Premier League, so it'd be daft to.
He'd do a job at any sort of, I don't know, bottom 6 upwards.
I don't think he's a Premier League goalkeeper. I don't think he'll. If he does go, I don't think he'll stay in the Premier League. He's not good enough. I think he'd be a very good Championship goalkeeper. He's not a Premier League goalkeeper. And to be honest, I don't really care about signing. Obviously, if Randolph goes, we need to sign a new backup. But I'm more than happy going into the season with Adrian as our number 1. More than happy. So
yeah, I am now. What's the next one? Bastiai, Mark. This is Bastiai is now a Premier League champions team, and he has started scoring for them. I don't see him even considering moving to us. What are your thoughts? I don't know. I think he'll come.
It depends on who they sign as well.
I expect Chelsea to go and buy someone. Quite like make a statement. I think Morata and people like that have been linked.
They were linked with someone earlier this week. I can't remember who it was. I know Griezmann is apparently going to Man United.
Yeah. But I think it all depends on signs. It's going to be one of those merry-go-round ones where this one will go here and he'll come.
Lukaku.
Oh, yes, Lukaku, yeah. And you would say maybe Michi and Lukaku are a bit too similar, perhaps, in terms of their build and, they're both Belgium, they're both big, they're both strong players. So a couple more. Name five first-team players you believe will be with the club next season.
That's weird.
That is from Scott Davis. That's quite easy.
Randolph.
Adrian. Antonio.
Adrian, Noble. Antonio.
Yeah. There you go. I think... Yes, that is it. That is it for this week, guys. Thank you for all the questions. Again, some questions were very, very similar, so I hope we've give you an answer. If I've not mentioned your name live on the show, I do apologise. But yeah, like I say, we've covered it because I've sort of condensed it into one question. Yeah, that's it for this week. If you've not caught on Twitter, guys, X has agreed to come on the show at some point. It's just sort of all in the talking process at the minute. It's up to sort of Lee and Paul and X to sort of arrange a date, but that is going to be a very, very interesting show. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah,
obviously as well. Brilliant if he does come on, and fair play to him as well. Absolutely fair play to him. He got a lot of stick from Lee in particular. So yeah, no, fair play to him. And Lee did say, come on the show, debate me, and he has straight away messaged us and said, let's do it, let's go for it. So fair play to him for that. A lot of people wouldn't have done that. So, and if you have got any questions, obviously for Lee or for X, do send them in, do write them in the comments for us, and we'll do what we can to get them across as well.
We're hoping to have a few guests on over the summer. I will get in touch with Jay again. I really do want Jay back on the show. Fantastic when he was on last time. I think West Ham World or something like that got in touch as well on Twitter. They would like to come on as well. So if there's anyone else, guys, you'd like to see on, maybe give us some ideas. I was actually talking to Paul Konchesky. He looked like he's going to come on at one point, and then it doesn't look like he's going to come on now, which is a shame. But I've tried my best all the time to get some good guests on for you. That's it for this week, guys. Please check out West Ham Fan Zone. Please please comment and subscribe. I think it's 15 now, guys, for 1,500. It seems like it's like a lifetime away, but I'm sure when we hit it, it's going to be fantastic for us. Leave some comments, guys. We love reading your conversations and getting involved. As you see, we like and try to reply to all the comments that come in on the channel. That's it for me.
Yeah, that's it for me as well. Yeah.
I just do that bit. No, that's right.
Yeah.
That's it from me. That's it from Lee. That's it from Paul. Until next week, come on you irons. Keep believing. Let's go.
Cheers.